So today we actually have Wooloo live and in person. He's pulling out the face cam for this very special video. Hopefully you guys all appreciate that. Today our main topic is going to be Rogue because this is a really, I guess, kind of confusing situation for fans. I'm sure we've been hearing that this Rogue situation was going to be concluding and then it just hasn't happened yet. So what is the latest? Why is this situation continuing to drag on, at least from what you know?
Hey, Jern, thank you for being so welcoming and happy to have everyone watching us. So the big topic for Rogue is they still haven't locked any player on the roster other than Larson, who is expected to stay. And yeah, there is a very big reason as to why Rogue is so late this offseason. It's because it's no secret. I reported it in July. Rogue are trying to sell their LEC spot. Uh, they are in discussion with an organization to buy their LEC spot. That organization is not Falcons. Falcons was rejected by Riot Games. It's it's another organization from the same region, and the deal as of today is not concluded yet. If it will be concluded is not a certainty, but only only once that is decided, Rogue will be able to send out offers.
Hmm. Yeah, so obviously that is probably a little bit frustrating because we do see a lot of the LEC offseason going on right now. A lot of rosters, getting verbally agreed and kind of getting finalized for better, for worse, or for more or less. Is this, you think, going to be something that really does ultimately impact this Rogue or whatever team they're going to be roster for next season? Is this a big deal to you?
Yeah, I mean it has already um, affected their off season because a lot of the players they would have liked have already found another team. Um, Luckily for them, they already have Larson because whether they sell or they don't, um, Larson will be staying on the roster. He already has his multi-year contract. Uh, Now, if they don't close out any deal soon, they could lose out even more options than what they are already losing on. So the faster they can close out the deal or not, the better. But right now, Rogue is betting that they will close out the deal. Otherwise, they could send out like minimum offers potentially, but they are taking the risk to wait out and have a higher budget, which uh, which would definitely be the case. Uh, should they secure a deal with the new organization? The reason I'm talking about them being with the new organization or not is because if the deal happens, the GM Fly is expected to stay on the new team, which is why, regardless of what happens, it's the same person doing the off season for Rogue or the upcoming organization.
Yeah, that actually kind of works out nice. Obviously, if it's the same guy at the helm, you don't have to bring in somebody and then try to do like some whole off season, like right at the last minute. So that's definitely at least some good news to hear. Do you have anything as far as an estimated timeline or like what you would maybe give as a prediction? I know some people have already thrown out some of those numbers so far and they kind of just keep not happening. So are you hesitant to throw out a prediction or do you have anything the fans can kind of expect as far as a timeline goes?
Mhm. So regarding the timeline, it's very hard to say. I had already heard that it could be done last week, this week. It's still not decided, so I'm not very sure anymore. But we should end up having an answer someday, right? However, I can say that Rogue have initiated talks with players, even if they cannot send offers. They have been talking to Yankos. They have been talking to Upset. They have been talking to Mickey. So if they can send out those big offers later, they could potentially get those players if they are interested. But right now, they cannot send any offer. It's possible that we see Mickey, for example, on another team still. Um, some teams in LEC still need a support, but if it takes a while, they could lose out on Mickey, they could lose out on more players. But they are aiming pretty good profiles right now. If that will be doable, we don't know. But at the moment, they do aim those names. There is also Photon that came up in top lane, for example, but Finn could very well stay as well. It remains to be seen. But yes, the conclusion is those discussions with those players have been engaged. If they will be able to close on that is very uncertain at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it is obviously a good thing for them that there are so many kind of big name players still available in the LEC, because the names you're throwing out there are obviously still very, very talented players, and there are some options that they could still end up with a really nice roster. I think it is also probably good for them that they do have Larson as like that centerpiece to build around. You know, if you only had one player on your roster, Larson isn't necessarily the worst player to have as like that one focal point or that one remaining player on your team. So yeah, hopefully, obviously for everyone's sake, they get this settled sooner rather than later, so we can kind of get this offseason done, because I know fans are really wondering about guys like Yankos, like Mickey, and actually trying to find them a home for next season. So I know that's something a lot of fans would be excited about, and I'm sure fans are going to be excited about some of the names that are even thrown out right now, even being potential options for Rogue.
Yeah, definitely. Every year we see a lot of memes of players who are good names for LEC but don't find a team, and we typically call it the McDonald's team. Well, maybe this year the McDonald's team will be able to find a team. That's the bet of Rogue. There are often memes that the McDonald's team could be a playoff team in the LEC. So if this ends up being the case, it's not sure yet, but if Rogue end up picking those players that cannot find a team but should be able to in LEC, well, we will finally be able to see what a McDonald's team can do in LEC.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously a discussion that fans always have anyway about like, oh, why do we have an entire playoff team that doesn't even have a roster? Well, yeah, like you said, they might end up on Rogue. Also, kind of a random thought I had pop into my head too, as well as like now since we have so many splits and everything in all these leagues, maybe even if Rogue doesn't get their exact roster right this time, maybe, hey, next split, they'll still have a chance once the organization comes in and gets their footing in a little bit. Maybe, it'll be a team that kind of figures things out as the year goes on, and still, as long as you end up with a fine team by the end of the season, could still work out okay. I don't think that's an ideal strategy, but it's something maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely that's possible, but the opposite is possible too. It's possible that players like Jankos, like Mickey, decide to take a split off because after the winter split, they could be on another team. So they don't have to join Rogue if that position is available. They could always bet to stay on the bench for a little bit. The bench can be very warm sometimes. So yeah, even if Rogue does get the money, not certain that those players will be joining.
Right. That's always the case. It's just because they get these things figured out doesn't mean they have all these players just rushing in at them, because there are still a couple of other rosters that are still obviously vying for these players. And like you said, the bench or streaming or just kind of chilling for a little bit can always be a nice opportunity as well. But yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see how this Rogue situation plays out. And I'm happy we could get all this information from you and all the updates out to these fans. We're definitely all waiting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, definitely. At least when something will be decided, we will update you on Ship Esports. We will share the moves. So yeah, just have to be patient for the moment, but once it's done, you will know it.
Sounds good. Once it's done, you know where to find us.
Exactly.
Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.